A Dating Guide 2. Chapter 1. Dating Advice 1. Dating Advice Info. Try not to be shy or have social anxiety. Be healthy yourself in the head. You have to want to be in a relationship. A new relationship is an emotional risk. All life is a risk. If you date, you will date duds. Be gentle after the hard dates with dudley people. If you're the guy, plan out a decent date, not just we'll go downtown and get something to eat. Have a concrete activity like we'll walk the boardwalk, go to a play, etc. Dating is a numbers game. It's hard to find someone who thinks like you. Be proactive in meeting people. Introduce yourself. Start conversations. Smile and make eye contact. It's networking. You might not meet your mate, but you meet someone who might introduce you to your mate. You have to go out and socialize. If you're standing at a checkout line, look like an open person, easy to talk to. The more you go out and meet people, the better your chances of meeting a lover. Don't go to places where there are scum people. You could say that there are scum people everywhere. That's true. There is a better chance of meeting a decent person at a gym than in a bar. Watch the 1955 movie Marty for free at streamm4u.com. I watched Marty again after 20 years. What a classic movie about the plight of the average guy in trying to find a woman, especially if he's pressured by his family to find someone and get married. It's the same old story. The dialogue is great, two lonely people looking for love. Screw the rejections. Be an upstanding guy who earns money and pays his own way. Be out in public. Be nice. Don't sell your soul to the world, Romans 12:2. That's the only real way to meet someone barring online dating. A fearless quality is attractive. What is fearless in a brave way versus what is stupid and dumb, as in all the young men trying to get some kind of reputation by doing stupid things, filming them and posting them on the internet. I've been reading a few articles about both men and women that talk about a fearless quality to life that makes a person attractive. It's a kind of openness to life, loving your life despite its hardships and the average mundane quality of life in general. shamanicattraction.com/definition/what-is-sexual-attraction. rawmasculinity.blogspot.com.au osho.com/library/online-library-conditions-love-conditions-930405E5-227.aspx elephantjournal.com/2011/06/sexual-fearlessness. Class distinctions. I saw a documentary about class distinctions called People Like Us, Social Class in America. A lot of people define themselves by class, especially those who think they're upper class, and a lot of women are seemingly obsessed with class, trying to look and act as though they belong in this illusory place of refined, superior people. A lot of people are like this, and if you ever come across a girl or guy trying to act preppy or superior by virtue of the clothes they're wearing, the car they're driving, the way they're talking, wearing a lot of rings and jewelry or something like that, beware. Get away from them, because they're messed up people living in an illusion that they're better than the great unwashed middle class because they have money, went to an Ivy League school or some other external thing that doesn't reflect the true soul and character of the person. It's all a lie. The only way you really live a great life is if you expend the inspiration within yourself every day to reach the transcendence that lives inside of you, should you have the guts and the power to go for it. If you have a lot of money but live a dull capitalist life impressed by your self-importance, as so many people do, trying to impress others with their crap, you lose at the game of life. They interviewed a bunch of girls who had just been at a debutante ball, one of those events where girls get all dressed up, parade down the catwalk while the host reads a paragraph about how advanced and wonderful they are. This is something some sectors of society do in order to announce the single girls in their social class who are ready to seek out a partner. It's more prevalent in the southeastern states east of Texas than anywhere else. Afterwards, these girls were acting all uppity and advanced, saying they wouldn't go out with anybody unless they were Ivy League graduates and they weren't messing around. They were seriously brainwashed, and this is the way many girls and guys alike pick a spouse. Their criteria is that the person has to fit into their social class, never mind true love, that's got very little to do with it if anything. The movies An Officer and a Gentleman, Pretty Woman, and Flashdance were so successful because they were all about the Cinderella rescue, the guy from the upper class rescuing the poor nice girl and inviting her into his world of privilege. There are millions of girls brainwashed into thinking there are an abundance of Prince Charmings out there who are gonna rescue them and live happily ever after in the suburbs, but it ain't gonna happen because most guys are just average dudes who gotta work hard for a living. Studies done on social class in marriage found that if one is heavily dependent on the other for economic support, that person is less likely to cheat or initiate a breakup, but if neither needs the other to get by, they're more likely to cheat and break up. This probably explains why divorce rates have gotten so high in modern society. Women don't need men anymore to support themselves, so they're more likely to bail than hang on to defective men. Chapter 2. Dating Advice 2. Designing the Real You. Faint heart never won fair lady. Become the person you want to meet. When the heart is ready, the lover will appear. When you watch TV tonight, check out all the different commercials and pay particular attention to their styles. Some are in your face, some try to seduce you, some try to be funny, some try to be serious, some try to deal with the facts, some present themselves as clearly superior, and the list goes on. Our TV society has made us, as human beings, walking advertisements. There's a subtle crossover with the cars we drive, the clothes we wear, etc. We're projecting the image that these products project, but more importantly, that's what we are when we're on the hunt, these cool, supercharged bundles of joy that scream out, "Hey, look at me. I'm cool, check me out." Don't get too phony about it, but that's the bottom line of the dating game. You're a walking billboard of yourself. That's all people have to analyze you when they meet you for the first time. From another less commercialized perspective, you are your soul. It radiates out through your entire being regardless of the clothes you wear, the hairstyle you have, or the car you drive. Enlightened people can read other people's souls very quickly with just a look. Presumably this is who you're looking for, an enlightened spiritual person, so as such make it a point not to look too trendy on the outside, just look nice and be as natural as you can be being yourself. I'd rather be with a natural girl being herself than a trendsetter who thinks she's all that any day. When designing the real you, you have to do an analysis on yourself. Ask yourself if you really want a mate and whether you might be too independent to commit to someone as some people are. Take an honest look at yourself as a person. Make a list of what you have to offer to a prospective mate, then look at your negative traits. Next, look at your mindset and mental attitude. Do you have past baggage from other relationships? Think about it seriously, then put it out of your mind. Get rid of it. If you have anger and negativity in there, as most of us do, repress it or get rid of it. Work on a middle-of-the-road attitude, not businesslike, not overly glamorous, glitzy bimbo, but in the middle. Get rid of all preconceived notions from parents, friends, and culture about what you want. Decide for yourself. Paint pictures of you and your fantasy lovers and write a few love stories describing your fantasy love affair, then send them to me. If I get enough good ones, I will put together a book about it called Love Stories from the Edge, Fantasy Love Affairs to Keep You Dreaming. I'm sure everyone has at least one great fantasy love story inside of themselves and one great image of a great love scene. Send me the illustrations too. I could use them in the book. For me, it's two lovers being tanned, naked and healthy in some Garden of Eden on a sunny day on a lake in the midst of a tropical paradise. Be yourself, be real, be nice, believe in yourself. Now you're ready. Go out there and live your life. When you see someone you like, smile, wave, nod your head and say hi. Don't set expectations too high, otherwise you will never meet anyone. Everyone's flawed, even you, so don't go thinking you're gonna hold out for Mr. Perfect, cause he don't exist except on that phony TV wrestling stuff, and you know that's all a sham anyway. The first rule is never leave the house unprepared. That means be reasonably well dressed and clean. You never know when it will happen, when you meet him or her, and you don't wanna be caught feeling like you should have took that shower or worn better clothes. I'm not trying to be phony or pretentious here, don't go extravagant or anything, just wear nice clothes. Don't go overboard on the jewelry or the cologne or even the fashion, that's all phoniness that doesn't attract real people. No chains other than maybe a simple cross. No big hair or flashy hairdos. Maybe that's your bag, but it sends out the phony signal. I don't know any man who likes the sight of dark-colored roots showing through a blonde head of hair. I believe I speak for most men when I say that I don't understand why women color their hair. They say it's for themselves, but I say it's a denial of their real selves. And the nail coloring bit is ambivalent. Some men think it's sexy and puts out the "I'm available" vibe, while others think it's outright cheap and crass, so make your decision based on the kind of man you want. Dress as the counterpart to the person you want to attract. Big, bleach blonde hair will attract the guy with the 2 earrings on, nice dressed will attract nice dressed, grunge will attract grunge, and so on and so forth. When presenting yourself to the world, smile and/or appear happy in your resting, relaxed facial position. You can read people by looking into their faces. Does their resting profile show happiness or the crinkly lines of a scowl? We should all be able to innately tune in on it, so give yourself a practice run in the mirror. Do you look happy and approachable, or like someone with a lot of problems who doesn't want to be bothered? Make it a point to smile at people everywhere you go, just a simple, warm smile. And say hi. You will see how it warms up the world for you. Show the world the real, kind inner you. If you're not kind but a strong person who takes care of themselves, that's fine, because a prospective lover will think that you will take care of your own little circle of intimates even if you are closed to the rest of the world, so you don't have to go thick on that phony idealistic liberal bit about loving the world, just as long as you love yourself and love your little world. It's fine for 2 narcissists to meet and love each other in their own little bubble away from the rest of the world. It happens all the time. We're all self-centered beneath the masks anyway. This is the definition of romantic love, 2 lovers thinking their way special together. Project yourself as a confident, decent person. Take time to contemplate your life. Search for the goodness within yourself and express it outwardly. Let it shine, let it show, be the kind of person your mom wanted you to be. It's that simple. Don't be boring. That's not to say be a jet setter, but show some character by having at least one talent or passion that you care about and practice regularly, whether it be bowling, playing the flute, doing crossword puzzles, whatever. Anything to keep you from being a generic couch potato. You could conceivably use your passion and strengths to network into meeting others, whether it be as a musician in a band, helping others through volunteer work, as a salesman with a booth at a flea market, etc. Take a real interest in life and act as though you really like yourself. It will show and people will respond to it. Show interest in the other person. Once again, that's another key to the romance game, so, in the final analysis, it's all a matter of interconnections and karma. You start smiling and talking to people, they start smiling and talking to you more, you feel better and more comfortable about yourself and start attracting people more. You have to be realistic and take a good long look at yourself. If you're an average person, don't necessarily expect some advanced person to take you in. Everybody goes for someone at their level of functioning. Some people need complex people like themselves, otherwise they get bored of a simple companion. Others need opposites. A deep, profound intellectual might want a simple girl because she's so fresh, free, and uncomplicated. And that brings me to my next point, the Cinderella/beauty queen complex. I've watched enough TV talk shows to know that if you marry for beauty or money, chances are there will be trouble. Physical beauty is one thing, but it in no way makes for the entire substance of a relationship. You gotta love yourself, act like you're enjoying your life, carry yourself with dignity and sell yourself, unless you're an authentic person who just wants to be yourself, but you still gotta sell yourself if you're looking for love. Go where the opposite sex goes. Some nerds aren't that bad once you get to know them. Give people a chance. They might have friends. Watch out for negative signs like hostility or addictions to things. Focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses. Watch yourself to see if you sabotage new relationships. Expect to give more than you get but not too much. Watch yourself to see if you're arrogant, abrasive, controlling or otherwise give off negative vibes. Many people are without even realizing it. Don't be too desperate. Watch to see if you're hard-hearted, selfish, and cynical. The most negative, antisocial people around often don't know they're negative. They think they're good people and the rest of the world is screwed, so take a good long look at yourself. Expect rejection but blow it off every time and keep on smiling. See rejection from a first-time meeting as impersonal. The person doesn't know you, so don't take it personally. If you're a woman, it's fine to ask a guy out. If you're too shy, just give him a compliment. Even if you're with somebody for a while, if they decide to reject you, it doesn't automatically mean it has something to do with your possible deficiencies as a human being. It's usually them with their personal hang-ups and problems. When you connect, don't go to home plate until you've touched all the bases. Give it time. When the woman's ready, she will let you know by her emotional cues. She's the boss. Always read her and go as far as she wants to take it. Like Smiley says, look at yourself in the mirror, smile, and say, "It's a great day and I feel good about myself because I'm special and doggone it, I'm damn well worth it." Finally, before you meet your honey, be ready for what a relationship will do to you. You will have to sacrifice some of your free time, be nice when you don't feel like it and put on a happy face until you snag her. Know what you're getting into before you do it. Some people are too free and slobbish to handle a relationship with another live human being. Don't miss your chance. Everybody has a love tragedy. There are worse things than a broken heart like the love that you don't explore. I believe everyone has at least one regret about not going after somebody they were attracted to when they were younger. There are only a limited number of soulmates or near perfect fits out there. If you meet one, it might be 10 years before you come across another one. Your best chances for love are when you're under 30 for a girl, up to about 70 for a guy who takes care of himself and has money. Society in the social sense is geared for youth, and besides, everybody is looking at this person's age. By the time you hit 30, you're either married, divorced, gay, no, you're either a swinger, sex addict, or a celibate. The magical time of youth is over. Your best chances for love are youth. I saw a movie from 1988, I don't even know what the title was. It was a British film about this wealthy young doctor hiking through the woods in England in about 1900 who comes across a farmhouse which doubles as an inn, so he takes a room, sees a pretty farm girl there and has a fling with her. He has to leave to go to the city to get some money from the bank but tells her he loves her and will be back in a few days. While there, he gets back with his high society friends and then he sees her walking the streets looking for him, this peasant farm girl. He hides in an alleyway to avoid her seeing him. The scene immediately shifts to 18 years later where he and his shrieky, neurotic high society wife are taking a drive through the country, him acting like he's never been there before but he's scoping out the farmhouse to see signs of her. In the narrative, him talking in his mind, he said something like, "If I could recapture the only one true moment of love I ever had in my life." He meets with the old farm worker who he had known from before, who tells him she came back from looking for him in town depressed, then died a few months later after giving birth to his son. If you ever see the movie, the lesson is clear. He missed his chance. It was a love tragedy. She obviously wouldn't have been depressed, therefore wouldn't have died during pregnancy if he had come though and honored his word, and he rejected her because of some misguided views he had about socioeconomic status, but she was the only girl he really loved. True love is very rare. If it comes, you'd better think seriously about taking it now because it might not come around again. Giving up the goods. The one thing guys can't stand is a girl who is playing the game of I got the goods and I decide if you get them. She uses the possibility of sex with her as her weapon and actually brings it up during the course of a date. The paradigm I've always lived by was that I get involved with someone, it's a mutual respect and attraction or nothing at all. She doesn't got the goods that I'm trying to get into. We both got the goods and we relate on a human level. If it comes to romance and sex, it will happen in due time when the time is right, when we are both emotionally connected. If you take it as some game that you're the superior one with the sexy body which is the prize that I have to dance for, forget it, I can't stand girls like that. I will not waste my time. It's cheap and demeaning to the spirit of love. It reveals a low-level thinking, primitive type of person who sees relationships as a series of small contracts, not in the more grandiose, holistic bond it should be. Group date / going out. Let's say you want to set up your friend with your husband's brother. Rather than try to get them to go on a formal date, you have a supper or you go out with several friends, inviting each of them to come, telling them there is a single person coming they might be interested in. It's informal. There's no pressure to perform. I saw some TV show with a Russian matchmaker who said how she hooked a guy and a girl up. She told the girl that this guy was talking about her and crazy about her, and told the guy that this girl was crazy about her and talking about her, and they eventually got married. Chapter 3. Dating Advice 3. Hoes can't be housewives. He was a masochist, always felt he had to save someone's soul, but you can't. People can only save themselves. I once knew a very pretty girl who looked like a lady from high society, but when she opened her mouth, you could tell she was an uneducated girl from the low-class part of town. That doesn't matter to most guys, they just want somebody nice and soft, but the problem starts when you realize that not all girls were raised with the same middle-class Christian values you were raised on. They may have been raised by a single mother who slept around, did drugs in the house and never went to church, so their morality will be different from yours. This girl I knew looked like an innocent princess on the outside, but on the inside, she had an incessant need for self-destruction. She couldn't hold down a regular job, she was heavily into drugs and was always going out to make some imaginary scene. She wanted some guy to rescue her and take care of her. It's not that she was bad, it's just that she wasn't capable of an old-fashioned love affair because of her drug addiction and general overall naivete about reality. I thought that all girls were the same and just wanted a nice, quiet guy to take care of them at home, but they don't. Women have as many wild and self-destructive streaks as men, especially in this day and age with all those trashy music videos on TV where the novelty seems to be shock value. My only warning is, if you meet a pretty girl at a party or a nightclub who seems to be a lush and has a need to go out partying every night, don't think you can change her to settle down. Some girls are their own worst enemies for whatever reason. Maybe they disguise the fact that they're afraid of intimacy by doing these things. Who knows, but I say cut your losses and leave before you end up stuck with a couple of kids when she decides to take off or hang with her for casual sex, but don't expect to rescue her and make everything perfect. Men aren't the only pricks around. A lot of women are just as bad too. Many women abandon their kids and neglect them, as evident by all the criminal convictions for this type of crime. Some newspapers announce all the daily arrests of everyone in the community. If you read through these arrests, you'll soon find a lot of women get arrested for neglecting or endangering their children. What kind of person is that who neglects her own kids? Someone who wasn't meant to be a housewife. Holding out for Mr. Perfect. Seek and ye shall find. What if you live in some small town where the most interesting thing is the annual swell of grasshoppers, and you come across about a half dozen possible suitors a year and that's it? Some people just can't pack it up and move to the city in order to increase their chances. Economic reality plays a big part in it. What ya do, go out with Joe boring redneck, or live alone and hope some great guy pops out of the ground. That's why the internet is so good. It brings the world to your fingertips. Some people live in fantasy worlds. They compare everyone they meet to a real or imagined conception of the perfect lover in their minds, either based on pure fantasy or a ghost from an earlier love affair. You have to decide what's right for you. There are plenty of nice people around who will do, but if you want to hold out for that extra special, perfect fit, you might have to be ready for a long wait, even a lifetime. Aside from soulmate love, which is admittedly rare, the traditional way to find love is to get out there, circulate, date as many reasonable candidates as you can until you find a reasonable match. But what's a reasonable match? To most people, it's different things at different times. The 21-year-old model who thinks she's all that wants Prince Charming with a gold credit card, but by the time she hits 33, after her coke addiction, her divorce, and all those young up-and-comers looking better than her, she's looking for a guy with a reasonable job and a car. Some guy is waiting for a soulmate, but when she doesn't appear, he goes for that cute girl at the supermarket who always smiles at him. He doesn't care about her status in the world, just that he likes her. He needs love and needs it now, so he will take a little less than a soulmate just to be with someone. The morale to all of this is, don't tie yourself down to a narrow picture of who you want, nor wait endlessly for a soulmate who may not exist except in your fantasies. You gotta accept what there is in your neck of the woods when the timing is right for you. It's better to be with somebody you like 90% than wait for another 5 years for that possibility of the slam bam 100% connection that rarely exists in real life. If you've been exposed to a lot of different dating partners, you will realize that very rarely is the chemistry higher than 75%. At 75%, you're thinking she's alright and might do, so you sign on for a second date. If it goes up to 80 to 85%, you will probably take it because it's good enough. In the world of real people, there are very few hundreds. If you're at 100 and living a great life, by all means wait around until you come across another 100 soulmate. But if you live in the real world, you're an average person who thinks you're pretty damn good but don't have a lot of time to pursue romance because you have to work and take care of yourself. So in your hunt for a partner, a pretty good fit will do. So remember that, and don't set your expectations so high that you end up a spinster at 40, desperate for anyone who will take notice of you, because your marketability is always going down as you age. Some people don't find true love until well into their 60s. You gotta think it through and make those decisions as to whether you wanna do it alone for a while and wait for your hero, or go with the first warm body that smiles at you. In any event, you gotta go where people are. I find big cities too impersonal. Most people looking for love say so too. Smaller cities from 35,000 to 500,000 population are best. Live near the local college. That's where all the single folk are at all ages. Go outside and be part of life. Is he married? Many married men romance single girls on the side by acting single. Some have apartments on the side, others don't. Some tell the truth, some lie. It's fairly easy to determine whether a guy's married. Firstly, he's probably a bit jittery and paranoid about being seen out in public, so he goes to out-of-the-way places with you. Check him out by holding hands in public and suggesting high-profile places to go where someone might see you together, like the local mall. Secondly, he doesn't give you a home phone number, maybe an office number or a pager number. Thirdly, most dates are weekday and not weekend or on special occasions like holidays. Ask for a weekend date or overnight getaway. If you're with a guy who you suspect is married, just follow him home from work some night or ask him straight out. Most will admit it and say they're in the process of getting a divorce, even though many don't. Look in the ashtray of his car or in his pockets when he's taking a shower at your place for a wedding ring. Look in his car in general if you get the chance. Get his home address from his vehicle registration card. Look at his left index finger for a mark where the ring should be. While the rest of the finger tans and gets exposed to the elements, this part remains pale and tender. Have a party or some other event where you ask him to bring a few of his friends, then you talk to them casually to learn about him. Spontaneously ask him to spend the night with you. If he's married, he will make an excuse. If he says he's got children but is divorced, ask to meet them, then talk to them to find out if he's still married. If he pays cash for everything, he might be cautious about leaving a paper trail. Some guys are so paranoid, when they give you a card or a gift, they don't sign their names to it, only their initials, nickname or first name. Hire a private investigator. On the other hand, if you like presents without the hassle of a full-fledged relationship, there are plenty of married guys around looking for a mistress. One girl put an ad in the paper saying she was looking for generous, married men for a mistress relationship and got swamped with replies. Met love of my life while married to someone else. Most people marry the first time out of cultural indoctrination. They think they should be married, so they marry someone who seems nice, but they're probably not head over heels in love. I had a guy about 26 years old ask me once, what does it feel like to be in love? He asked me because he said that he felt like he was falling in love with different girls all the time. A lot of people have never had a wow moment in being attracted to someone they see for the first time. They get to know someone who is nice to them or seems alright. There is some intuitive thing built into us where we know when we come across someone who rocks our world. It's like you know you're on the same wavelength, like finally someone like me who understands me. If you're married and meet someone you're really attracted to, they to you, and you don't particularly love who you're with, back in the day they stayed together for the kids or because the idea was marriage for life, but nowadays if you're with someone you don't love, why prolong the pain? I hear about people getting divorced after 30 and even 40 years of marriage. Why did they stay together for so long? I remember reading about the divorce of a wealthy Canadian couple, one of the McCains from the frozen food company. They were married for about 40 years. Why did they stay together for so long if they didn't like each other? Get out now. Cut your losses. Go be with who you love. exojane.com/it-hyphen-to-me/I-me/me/me-met-love-I-was-married-someone-else. Opposites might attract, but it won't last. Opposites might attract at first for fun and novelty, but relationships based on two people with opposite lifestyle ideologies rarely last. I see the odd story on TV about some big gruff ex-con laborer with some petite librarian, but I'm pretty old. I believe I've seen it all. I would never bet on opposites lasting for very long. There was a con in jail looking for parole. He was a slick-looking, fast-talking kinda guy. He was there with his fat girlfriend who he met while in jail and claimed to find God. I'm glad they denied him parole. It was a disaster waiting to happen, this guy living with this girl. OnlineDatingMagazine.com/column/dating tips/opposites-attract.html 25dates.com/dating_tips/articles/y_do_opposites_attract. EZNarticles.com, opposites, attract or repel. BellaOnline.com/articles/art18610.asp, do opposites really attract? LifetimeZoalmates.com/dating_advice/opposites_attract.aspx. CanadianLiving.com/relationship/dating_advice/when_opposites_attract.php. Women'sHealthMag.com/sex-and-relationships/y-opposites-attract. CatholicLane.com/opposites-attract-but-can-they-go-the-distance. Chapter 4. Dating Advice 4. Positive traits that people look for in a mate. Write an essay to help you see what you're looking for. These are what I think people look for in a mate. Encourager. Gorgeous, beautiful. Great listener. Hard worker. Helpful. Honest. Integrity. Intelligence. Intuition. Keeps promises and commitments. Kind and compassionate. Saves money, not frivolous. Sense of humor. Shares. Spiritual. Stable. Wisdom. Instant attraction. Love lies buried in the soul until awakened by an object worthy of desire. Somebody has to have this intangible quality that instantly attracts you to them the first time you see them, and you have to have this quality to them. There are three parts to beauty: the face, the body, and the soul. The soul either radiates warmth or it doesn't. People have good bodies by the grace of youth up to about 30. After that, you deserve the body you have. It's the real you. Lean, muscular, and slim is the standard of health, what some people call tight or buffed. Your self-respect can be read by the type of body you have. Overweight people are not in harmony with themselves regardless of how much they sugarcoat it. I look in the face. Your biography becomes your biology. The expression that you wear most of the time is imprinted on your face after the grace of youth goes at about 30. I look for natural joy, somebody's who living to feel the magic in their spirits. Inner warmth. I can usually sense if somebody has it or not. I feel that innocence is a quality not too many people have since the degradation of the world is blasted at us through the media all the time, but I'm looking for somebody who chooses not to pay attention to all that negative, indoctrinating crap out there, including all the stupid stuff in pop culture entertainment like all the stupid so-called action movies about explosions and guns or all the stupid soap opera type shows. I wouldn't maintain a relationship with a girl who regularly watches soap operas. There's something unhealthy about it. I look for youth and health because they represent both beauty and fertility. Presuming I'm looking to have kids. I don't care how much money a girl makes or how much status she has out in the world, but a lot of girls and guys reject a lot of people if they don't make the right amount of money or have the right job. I want someone with her own identity so she can leave me alone and not bug me all the time. I want somebody who is at peace with themselves. I don't like high-strung, anxiety-ridden, neurotic people who feel a need to unload their problems onto me. I want somebody who's moderate with no extreme views in anything except for living a good life. I want somebody stable enough to not fall to pieces if she has to raise 3 children or so. I don't want a pop culture couch potato. I want somebody being active with her life. I don't like frivolous people who own too much clothes and put too much makeup on. I want somebody down to earth. I want somebody who shares my views about love and family. I don't care if a girl is a loner or the popular one, since it's all pretense. We're all really loners underneath the social masks. To me, fun is being with somebody feeling comfortable. I don't have to go to a movie, concert, etc. to have fun. It's a state of mind. I don't care about conversation much. It's good sometimes, but I prefer a quiet, implicit kind of solidarity. Some people say they need somebody who challenges them. I challenge myself. I want a mate for friendship, comfort, and love, not to challenge me to supposedly take me to higher heights like the psychobablists say. Spontaneity is for losers without stable lives. I know what I have to do every day to honor myself and feel good. Beyond that, I don't give a damn about much else. Some people have a self-image of being creative, free-spirited, and bohemian, so they feel a need to run around all the time looking to make the scene, looking for action somewhere. I consider myself creative and bohemian, but I'm done looking for new things because I feel I've been there, done that for everything I wanted to do, so I don't need to be spontaneous, to go to some meaningless venue somewhere just to see a bunch of people looking at each other, which is what every event comes down to, people looking for something. They don't know what, someone to change their lives, but they're there. Risk is unnecessary and the folly of youth. I don't want to be with a risk taker. I'd like to find someone not mesmerized by pop culture entertainment. I hate home decor. I don't want somebody into decorating a house. I prefer that their life is more about releasing their natural free spirit. I don't want somebody needy or dependent. I don't really care if somebody is religious or not as long as they're straight with me. I don't typical conservatives or typical liberals because they're all playing up to some stereotype. I like individuals. I don't like people with the traditional work ethic. I prefer someone who's very inspired about a few things and lives by that. I want somebody who honor themselves. I don't care about education level or intelligence. The truth is that simple thinking people are happier than genius intellectuals. I like someone who's natural about sex. We both have sexual desires, so we should purge them into each other just for the sake of doing it because it feels good. I want a loving person who is willing to do things for me because I provide the bacon. I prefer someone stable to someone always trying gimmicky things like changing hairstyle. Who cares? It changes nothing about the soul. I don't care about humor as in a comedian cracking jokes. I just want somebody light-hearted. I don't need anyone to intellectually stimulating me. I can do that for myself. I don't need a high-maintenance girl or someone so low-maintenance that she doesn't shave her armpits. I want to feel that my woman appreciates me. I want a woman who acts ladylike. I don't like psychobablists who try to analyze me or a girl who tries to mother me. Do not talk too much. People like you more if you listen most of the time. People like empathetic people. People like easygoing, funny people. The dating base's info. When you get to first base on a date, it means kissing, not necessarily tongue kissing, just kissing. When you get to second base, it means either tongue kissing, feeling a breast or making genital contact with the hands with the clothes on, over them not under them. Third base is usually a hand down the pants of your partner and or both of you with your tops off. A home run means intercourse sex, anal sex, or oral sex to orgasm. The luck element in love. Luck plays a big part in love. You're at the right place at the right time to meet a wonderful person. Maximize your chances of being ready by being well dressed, groomed and clean. Have an interesting life so you don't look desperate. Live a happy life so you look happy. Your potential mate has to be able to see something dazzling in you. You can't be closing yourself off. Don't wear sunglasses or use an iPod in public. Walk around like you're open to small talk. You have to give new people a chance rather than reject them outright. Nobody is perfect. You will not find somebody that is totally perfect. If you did, that's a slave. Whenever you meet someone, ask yourself one question and that will tell you your true emotions about this person. Can I see this person having my children? The answer will make it perfectly clear for you. Watch TV dating shows to see how tough dating is and see that you have to put yourself out there and know that you will have to go out on dates where there is no chemistry. Courtship, the act of looking for a mate, is hard work. You have to be cool enough to be willing to go out on dates, accept the foibles of being human because beneath our exteriors, we're all scared of opening up and connecting with others and be mature enough to take rejection lightly, to know that you will go on, that it wasn't meant to be, that it's no big deal. Most people don't get a 100% attraction with someone else. Good attractions are about 75%. If you feel 75% good about someone, that's pretty good considering all the mismatches and no chemistries out there. From 75%, there is room to build something. The right one or the one right now. There is something in staying close to men and women, and looking on them, and in the contact and odor of them, that pleases the soul well. Walt Whitman. Love is when two people touch each other's hearts. That would be the right one. I was watching a TV dating show about people with average incomes dating rich people. A lot of those women acted like they were warming up to guys who had no sense of love or special qualities about them except for their money. These marriages would be meaningless because the woman doesn't feel that the guy touches her heart, but she is desperate, so she marries the guy for financial security. Is it worth it in the end? Some guys with money are genuinely nice guys. Many aren't. I get this feeling that in our capitalist society, tons of women would marry guys with money they feel nothing for in a flash if the opportunity presented itself. I read an article by a middle-aged woman who had been out on about 100 dates through online dating. She kept saying, "I won't give up in my search for love." People meet as seniors. They marry in nursing homes. She says there's some delusion in fantasizing about love, but it's realistic because everyone gets lonely and they're looking for someone. She's looking for someone who brings out the best in her and her bringing out the best in him. She wants somebody kind and trustworthy. A relationship should be a curiosity that builds an understanding of each other. She'll keep developing herself to make herself better to be ready in case she meets her mate. She knows she might not, but she's still hopeful. Loving is better than not loving. We want to be known, understood, and loved, and do the same for someone. Don't be sucked into the love industry and the aging beauty industry trying to make you feel deficient, so you buy all their crap in the mistaken belief it will make you trendier and more appealing. It's still the soul that counts, and the body that is a reflection of that soul. Chapter 5. Dating Advice 5. The Rules of Attraction for People. These are rules that scientists and psychobablists formulated by claiming to do experiments which led them to these revelations. I take it with a grain of salt, since attraction is largely intuitive. The biggest rule is that attraction is beyond your control. We may be taught not to judge a book by its cover, but when we see a new face, our brains decide whether a person is attractive and trustworthy within a tenth of a second, according to Princeton University research. You can't help who turns you on, so to speak. We're pre-wired to know in a few seconds whether we are attracted to somebody, which usually means they're young and healthy. Within a few minutes, we sense whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. Gender signals are how we communicate with body language. They say it's subconscious, but it's not really. You can tell by looking at people. A girl or guy who likes you will get closer to you, smile, nod, and open their body up in your direction. Girls always flip their hair to signal attraction. They're saying "I like you" without words. Guys do it too. In the same way, it's not hard to detect indifference, revulsion, or hate. A girl scowls at you, closes her body off, tries to avoid eye contact. It's all instinct for the doer and the receiver. They know the invisible communication going on. People can easily deny it, but it's really there. Men perceive beauty over personality and intelligence because it's right there in their face. They say that the guy is looking for a worthy mate to pass his genes onto, but I don't think it's this deep. It's just a primal attraction to feminine beauty. That's it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You go to the beach. You see beautiful women almost naked. Ugly fat women generally don't go to the beach. You can't help but get aroused. The specific individual woman doesn't matter. You're attracted to youth and health. An attractive man for a woman is usually one who can provide food, shelter, and security. A sense of security is more important than how the guy looks. Youthful bodies are athletic bodies. A person with an athletic body is always attractive to the opposite sex regardless of age, or, to be more honest, for their age. A fit 48-year-old guy or gal beats out an average 48-year-old every time. Men like women's breasts probably for the look and softness. Women signal men by jutting their breasts out. Some scientists say that the areola around the nipple has small glands that emit a scent which stimulates the male brain. Men like long legs and a firm ass. High heels accentuate these body parts. Men like the hourglass figure, which is the woman's waist being 0.7 the size of her hips. There are ideal waist-to-hip ratio, measurements. Women with a wear of 0.7, a waist that is 0.7 the size of the hips, are very desirable to men. For men, women like a 0.8 to 1.0 wear, a waist that is 0.8 the size of the hips. People with these wears are healthy and fertile. Symmetry is how much the right side of your face and body are alike. The better your symmetry, the more attractive you are. Women's faces are formed partially by the hormone estrogen. Small, feminine-looking faces signal to a man that she's very feminine, which is what the guy wants. It's the same for men with testosterone. More testosterone creates a more rugged, masculine face, which girls like. The role of pheromones, certain scents we give off, that others smell on a subconscious level, supposedly guide our attraction to other people by making us attractive to people whose genetic codes are different from ours, therefore maximizing the mixing of the gene pool. There are studies done at the Institute of Pheromone Research at Indiana University. A pheromone is detected in a special organ called the vomeronasal organ, which humans don't seem to have anymore. The rules of attraction bring people together, but there has to be chemistry for any relationship to go beyond initial attraction. People have to be friendly, affectionate, supportive, kind, funny, easygoing, and like each other in life ideologies. Other good traits are honesty, health, social status, ambition, and faithfulness. All this knowledge is a lot of good, old-fashioned, traditional propaganda, but a lot of girls and guys are attracted to people for how much money and status they have. It's not love, it's attraction, which is a fair-weather phenomena. As long as this person has what you want, you're attracted to them, like crack whores who are attracted to drug dealers for the drugs. In the end, you look at someone, you get a gut feeling right away. That's the way it really is. Psychobabble can't touch it. Some attraction one-liners are: direct eye contact, genuine smile. Men square up their shoulders and flex subconsciously when talking to a woman they are attracted to. Open arms. Close physical distance. Run fingers through hair, attempting to look his or her best. Subtle touching. Chest puffed out and shoulders thrown back. Holding doors open, helping. Compliments. Why you're attracted to certain people. You're attracted to people like you. Figure yourself out, know who you are, then know when you come across someone like you. Here are some one-liners to help you figure out who you are. What are your cultural interests, if any? What kind of music do you like? Do you like to read? What do you like to watch on TV? What do you buy at the mall to treat yourself? What type of movies do you watch, if any? Do you think art is bullshit or good? What is your favorite academic subject? Do you like to travel? Where to? What do you do for fun? How do you deal with adversity? What is love to you? Find a lover or keep your love life strong. If you want a relationship or want to keep one, constantly think about things to do to get what you want. Are you ready for a relationship? Some people aren't. Some people are better off alone. Have your own identity before you go looking for love. Know what you want out of a relationship. Be a good speaker and come off as a naturally comfortable person. If this is not natural to you, learn how to do it and practice by socializing. I learned how to deal with people by working retail, sometimes at my father's meat store, starting at about 10 years old. When you deal with 100 people a day, you learn to be quick and cool with anyone. Everybody has some fear of getting close, getting rejected, your partner finding out that you have stinky feet or something like that. You have to know that a relationship is faith in the future. That's all. Everybody goes in on uncertainty. If we did not act just because we were uncertain, nothing would ever get done. What level of compatibility is good enough for you? We're all loners, universes apart anyway. I can accept distance, but for me it's immorality, a person who lies, steals, manipulates, etc. You decide to commit, then stay the course as long as your partner is cool. There are deal breakers. For me, it's domestic violence on me even though I'm a guy. Plenty of women think they can hit guys and it's not a crime, but it is. I've dealt with theft, but the thing that gets me is when someone wants to make you their bitch or their slave or they boy. They expect you to do things for them just because they demand it now. There are plenty of women like that and they use sex as a tool. If someone threatens to withhold sex, it's time to leave the relationship. For me, it's just about being loving. I don't think it necessarily is that because I was brought up in a Catholic home. I think it's common sense. Be loving and nice. If someone cannot reciprocate and constantly has demands and conditions, leave. I wouldn't sacrifice my self-respect for a relationship. My first obligation is to love as God made me to live. If somebody tries to cramp my style and stop me from being who I am, I won't take it. When you see red flags that can lead to a split, you either try to fix it or leave. Many couples are wishy-washy for years on end. Sometimes they divorce. Sometimes they stay in a half-assed relationship for life. If the relationship is not working, don't force it. It's better to be happy alone than be with someone you don't really like. I know a lot of people live in a comfortable mundane marriage where the wife is being taken care of financially and the husband has a wife that he uses for SoCal events, but what a cheap, horrible way to live. I used to walk the paths when I lived in a subdivision and I'd see these mundane looking people there and I knew they weren't having great sex or great relationships because they looked so pale and unhealthy. Look good for your spouse. Don't get overweight. I believe breakups and divorces are great because they prove that you weren't meant for that person. Don't get depressed. Be happy. Rekindle a relationship if it's worth it. Take life as it comes.